Hello everyone. So I'm trying to go live now on Instagram. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hello. Yes, we are live. Let me do this. You're welcome. It's good to have you here. We are going live in a minute. Okay. Hi everyone. Um, I'll just give it a few minutes for people to join in and we're going to get started now. Yeah, we're going to get started. If you can hear me, let me know. Yes, you're welcome. Please say something in the chat. We want to dive into today's topic, purpose to global impact. While your story is a bridge to global opportunities, I have witnessed my following on social media. I've been away from social media for over a year, but I got back and I came back with a bang, like I never left. And I realized that social media recently I've had a lot of followers and people want to know, um, a lot of things about what I'm doing. So that's why I'm having this live session. As you join in, just let me know that you're here. Let me see. Purpose to global impact. You're welcome. Hi, you're welcome. So we're going to get started and I'm not going to take much of your time. You're welcome to my session. You're welcome to my space. My name is Dr. Chibuzas Wiki if you've been following me. And today we'll be discussing purpose to global impact. Yeah, I think we've waited for a little bit for 4 minutes so we can get started now. Yeah, if you're joining me from YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, you are welcome to my live stream, okay? You are welcome. Today we're going to be discussing purpose to, yeah, I just want to be sure that my life is showing well on Facebook. Got you, got you. We're going to be discussing what from purpose to global impact. Why your story is the bridge to global opportunities. That's what we will be talking about today. And There's going to be a whole lot to learn. If you're here, say something in the chat, say hi in the chat. Let me know. Let me know where you're joining in from. Let me know your name and where you're joining in from in the chat. Please let me know. I want to hear from you. I don't want to talk to myself alone. Okay? Let me know where you're joining in from. Hi. Great. From Purpose to Global Impact. Yeah. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yes. If you're joining in, let me know where you're joining in from. And yeah, let me know where you're joining in from. I want to hear from you. Say something in the chat. Okay. Say something in the chat so that I can know that you're here with me. All right. I'm using a different software that I've never used before, so forgive me, pardon me. Yeah, so purpose to global impact. Purpose to global impact. What has she been talking about this whole time? This whole time, it looks like I've been talking a lot about global impact. So, what exactly am I talking about here? Right? Purpose to global impact. What do I mean? Please, as you join in, say something in the chat. Let me know where you're joining in from. Also, share this live stream so that we can have more people like it, like and share. Okay. Yes. So let's get started. Purpose to global impact. So what's the goal of this session? The goal of this session is to help the people, participants, help you understand how discovering, defining, and communicating your story with clarity can open doors of funding, of visibility, of global opportunities for you. That's the purpose, basically, to help you understand how, communicating your story with clarity can open doors of visibility, of global opportunities for you. As you join in, please let me know where you're joining in from and share this. That's the purpose of this. And one of the things you'll be learning communication skills. You'll also be improving your leadership, capacity. All right, during as you join this session. Now, many of you know me. Some are just stumbled into on my page. This is my book, The Girl Who Found Water, and this book is a memoir that tells my story. I'm sure most of you already know what the story in this book is. If you don't, I'll just give a few summary of just a summary of what it is. So years ago, I was a young woman, in Nigerian. I was posted to a small community, northern Nigeria, for my National Youth Service Corps. Right? I was posted to that community, but guess what? Guess what? I was posted there for my NYSC, but fate, not fate, fate had another plan for me. I came across a community of about 6,000 people that did not have access to potable water. So what did I do? I dived into helping them to provide potable water, a borehole that provided potable water for people, 6,000 people for the very first time. That's what I wrote in this book. I wrote this book because when I was doing all of this, I did not go there with the intention of doing all of this work, right? This book, The Girl Who Found Water. I went there with the intention of, this is my NYSC. Me, I'm the first daughter. I have a lot of responsibility. So I got in there with the purpose of, learning. My goal during my NYSC was to learn a skill. Do you know what I mean? To learn a skill, to do something for my life. I didn't go there with the intention of let me go for my NYSC and start doing community. Although I've been involved in community project development, all my life, went to charity, organizing programs, but not in the that space. You know what I mean? And so I went to this community and I found out a community that did not have clean water. For the first time, imagine 6,000 people living without access to potable water. So what did I do? I mobilized a community. and we were able to sink the first borehole that provided water for them for the first time. Hi, good evening. Please, as you join in, say something so that I can know that you're joining me. I want to hear from you. I am excited to hear from you. Yeah. Please also share on your timeline and have more people join us. Okay. Now, guess what? I just went there to do. I was working as Bauchi State Television in the news department, right? That was my job during my NYSC. But I came across this community that, thank you for joining, that didn't have access to potable water. And I worked with them. I was able to mobilize resources to sink the first borehole for them for the very first time. Now, I was just 21-year-old. I was just 21 years old, and I did not have the intention of doing all of this for them. But guess what? Fate had another plan. Now, that's one thing I want to tell you today. For those who are joining me, purpose. Listen, your purpose happens to you. It's not something sometimes it's not something you intentionally walk into. I'm telling you, it calls you. And it calls you from three things: what makes you sad, what makes you mad, and what makes you glad. It just happens. I did not set out to do all these things, but it happens to you. So, one of the things I will tell you as you join this is, let's say you are someone who is very, you don't like seeing a place dirty, you don't like seeing dirty spaces, and you just see that you are drawn to clean water. Yes, you're drawn to things like, clean water. You just see yourself drawn to things. Perhaps that is your purpose. You see that you're drawn to numbers because usually your purpose is something that ties to the things that you love doing. It always ties to things that either you love doing or either you have a flair for it. Now, in my own case, I did not set out to go and do borehole there. But because I was raised as the first daughter, there's that part of me that likes to be sure that everywhere everybody's feeling okay. You know what I mean? There's that part of me that likes to be sure that everybody's well taken care of. It's just something that I find myself doing. So when I came across this community that did not have water, I just had that thing in me, to want to do something for them, to want to sink that borehole for them. And that's how I did that project. And it trended, the project trended that time. This was in 2012. And that's the thing. I did all that project. And what happened? I didn't know I won the state award, but the national award, I didn't get it. There was a whole lot of things. And that's the thing about purpose. Now, there are many people who, of course, got the national award, right? They got the national award. But are they still doing this work that I'm doing? Listen, your purpose is something that when you find yourself doing it, it may not be rewarding, but the more you get better at your craft, the more you embrace it, the more doors begin to open. I remember then I walked into was this, I don't know, but it's this Catholic church in Abuja. And I remember the priest, the Father Omale, said, listen, your laurels are hanging somewhere. And I was like, yeah, I did a whole lot of things, but I didn't get this during my NYSC. And it was like, your laurels are hanging are somewhere. As you join in, please, drop a message, say something so I can know that you're here. So that's what he said to me, your laurels are somewhere. So that's the thing about your purpose. You cannot be doing something to do your purpose and the universe will not reward you, God will not reward you. It's not possible. It's just that it may not be at the pace that you want, but you just have to keep doing what you're doing. Listen, I've been away from social media for a very long time. I used to be like, my page used to be buzzing, but guess what? I took time out over a year from last year, June. I just came back online in August. And so the algorithm is messing a lot with me. Imagine that I tell myself, oh, what's all this ones? And I get discouraged. I'm sure I wouldn't have doubled my Instagram followers. I'm sure some of you would have not been joining me. So that's the thing about purpose, right? You just have to. If you abandon it, if you come back, you start afresh. You continue doing what you're doing, and it's going to be very rewarding. And for me, I cannot tell you that the journey has been beautiful, but I will tell you that I've been blessed because the journey has taken me to places that I did not expect. So your purpose is to make impact. Purpose to impact. Your purpose is to make impact. However, you have to find out what's that purpose. It can be, listen, whatever you are doing in your tiny space, it is relevant. And so the essence of this session is what I want to basically I want us to discuss why your story is the bridge to global opportunities. Because everything we are doing is your story. Everything we are doing in this world, we are sharing our stories. Look at adverts. Yes. Thank you. Say she missed. Of course, and I miss social media. Look at, and you see, just give it some time, right? It will balance back. Look at what do you call it now? Most adverts. What do they sell to you? They are selling to you a story. People are buying stories all over the world. People are buying stories. Your story is unique. And you know one thing about our story, I've just shared my story. Your story may not even be like my story. And it does not in any way mean that your story is cannot go global. Imagine me just talking about my NYSC, but guess what? What you now need to learn is the craft of how to tell your story. Because when I'm sharing my story now to a global audience, I wouldn't say NYSC. I would say a mandatory program that Nigerians under the age of 30 are required to undergo or are mandated to undergo upon graduation from federal university or higher institution. I'm not just going to explain that I survived Boko Haram. I'm going to talk about I survived a bomb blast. I'll talk about a bomb blast or an explosion that may have been caused by the Boko Haram sects. Does that make sense? If you're feeling me, please drop a comment. I don't like talking to myself. I like feedback. I like feedback. Say hi, say something, drop those emojis in the comment. Just keep dropping them in the comments so that I'm sure that I'm not talking to myself. And you see that story, I only shared that story. That story was the beginning. That story of my NYC was the beginning. But I went back, I wrote this book, The Girl Who Found Water. This book opened several doors because now look at the thing about your purpose. Each layer that you unravel leads you into the next layer. Look, I have my lecture notes here. Well, I'm just speaking to as I'm getting some direction, right? Each layer that you unravel, everyone's story is unique. Yes, Goshen. Everyone's story is unique. So I don't like using these glasses because of the ring light would reflect on it. So let me use my eyes. I think my eyes is better. Let me know. So each layer that you unravel, it leads you into another layer. So I started by what? Volunteering myself. And that's one thing you would want to start with. Service. I'm not saying suffer ahead. But the thing is that the best gift you can ever give is the gift of yourself. When you start with the gift of service, most likely you would realize that it just ushers you into another gift. So I started with what I'm going to be using my own life because my life is my story. That's what I'm sharing with you today. I'm not just my life is what I'm using as that, I'm sharing from my own standpoint. Now, I started with service, sinking borehole for a community. And now I've learned project management, which is what enabled me to sink the borehole, right? The fundraising. It's not just project management, it's fundraising. It's fundraising. It's community organization. Because doing a borehole is not just taking up one morning. Is this okay? Let me know. It's not just taking one morning and be like, oh yeah, I want to do this. It's fundraising. I don't like lights reflecting to my eyes. So that's why this is a blue light. Yeah, I always have different colors. But let me know which you prefer. You want to see my eyes, or you want me to do this? So now I started by service, giving myself, serving people. But then from service, I transitioned into what? Project management, right? Fundraising. That's how the thing is. One string, one of them that will lead to a string of talents will be unleashed. Just one thing that you're able to do, right? One talent you're able to unravel, one gift you're able to make the best out of would lead to a string of several. From serving people, I'm doing that volunteering. I've learned, it's just a process. Thank you, Justina. That's what it is. It's a process. I've launched myself into fundraising, community organization, and leadership. That's the cocoa. Everything I'm talking about today is leadership. Because everybody who is looking at global opportunities, why are they interested? Why you want to get a scholarship, you want to get a grant, fellowship? What are they trying to do? They're trying to build capacity, because it's when people's capacity have been built, they can now transform to build institutions. Now, I've added this book that I wrote to read. What is the next one? Can someone say what is the next gift? Can someone drop it? I've talked about fundraising, project development, right? Best project development, community organization. What's the next one now? Writing this book now, what level of gifts did it unleash? Please, as you join in, say something in the comments. Let me be sure that I'm talking to people. What gift did it unleash? Can someone guess with this book? What is now the next level that it has unleashed? Because I have talked about a string of events. And I tell you, this string of events, they are a blessing to you. They are going to, you just see yourself unleashing different skills development, leadership, creative writing. Because it's a story. This is non-fiction. Let me not make us spend so much time. Creative writing is the gift that this story unleashed for me. Creative writing. And so you just find yourself, getting many of those gifts. They just keep that string. And then from that, what else? I went on to start Haske. Haske is Haske Water Aid and Empowerment Foundation. Haske is a non-profit that I started, right? And Haske was the name given to me in that community. I used that name Haske to do what? I honored them because they gave me a chieftaincy title and they named the place after me. I went on to start Haske. Haske is a non-profit that focuses on what? Clean water provision. Please, as you join in, say something in the comment, share it on your timeline so that we can have more people, join us from across different sessions. Yeah. So Haske is the name that people give me. Haske is what? Light. It means light in Hausa language. So you've seen leadership, community development, and now what? Creative writing. And now after the non-profits, that's what? Social entrepreneurship. You just see a string of events and all those things that you're unleashing, right? Those string of events, those string of talent, those string of should I say string of skills will just show up. They will just keep multiplying the more you serve, the more you walk in line with your purpose. Because if you're not doing something that you're called to do, you're going to waste your time. You're going to waste your time. Believe me, you're going to waste your time. If you're just messing around and you're not doing what you ought to do, you are just going to be messing around. You're going to be wasting your time. Hi, Solomon. Ify Solomon. Yeah, I like how you guys are making this interactive. It's been a while I came live, so I always appreciate having an audience that is very interactive because we are all champions and we win together. And from that's how I started writing. Now, I didn't get a national award. Why I'm talking about this global opportunities and personal development opportunities is because I just want you to know that you did not get. See, there's a lot of resources out there for you to build capacity. You can have the opportunity to work with other people in your space and the global space. You can scale. With that, what did I do? I was with starting a nonprofit. I was able to attract funding and get and scale impact. And we have done some huge projects, throughout. So if you're enjoying it, drop a session, drop those favorite emojis. I like to see those favorite emojis in the comment section. It has a way of encouraging me. All right. So many people are busy, but they're mind. They're just busy. Purpose is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things for the right reasons. Now, if the thing about what I was doing is there was no monetary gain to it at that time, but because what I was doing was impactful. See, the currency of impact is the currency, if you're having a business, right? The currency is what? Is you making profits for business. But for impact, it's about what? The people. It's about the people whom you're doing great things for, right? The people whom you're doing great things for, to see that they appreciate you, because they will. The people, the communities, right? Just the state, basically, they would appreciate you. And one thing I would say is, I know people like to do things in silence. Listen, if you're looking at getting global opportunities, your work has to be out there. And it does not in any way diminish that you are a kind person. It does not in any way diminish that you don't know what you're doing. You just need those visible footprints because there's a lot of scam out there. There's a lot of scam out there. So people they want to be sure they are working with people who know what they are doing, people who are vested in what they are doing. And one of those ways is that when they do a background check, they want to see your social media, your website, news agencies that have carried your story. Does that make sense? So it's not necessarily about you're just bragging. You're not bragging. It's not. If you wouldn't find me if I wasn't sharing my story online, right? You found me because you saw me sharing my story. So you're not bragging. You're basically what is craftsmanship. You're basically positioning yourself for global opportunity. So purpose is the compass that directs your decision. Without it, you will chase opportunities that don't fit your calling. So you see, and when you find your purpose, stay there. Me, I know that even if I will run a business, I know that my line is what? Making an impact, doing charitable works. I know. So what I now do is how do I ensure that I don't go hungry serving people? What ways can I? But I know that this is my calling. This is my space. When you find your space, when you find what you are called to do, just stay there. Otherwise, you will just keep going around in circles. Does that make sense? Yeah. You just keep. So if you found that this is what you should do, this is what you've been called to do, all you just have to do is what? Start building capacity. But just keep doing what you're doing. And that's what we're discussing today. What? Purpose to global impact. Please keep sending those. Thank you for joining me. Facebook, Instagram. We're streaming from multiple platforms today because I have people following me across. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you for joining. Please drop your favorite emoji in the comments as you join. And if you have questions, feel free to share them. Okay. So once your purpose is clear, the next step is learning to communicate it. That's where your story comes in. I know in your head is very clear. You have this idea that you want to do. Exactly. It's the compass that you have this idea of what you want to do. It's very clear in your head. There's no doubt about it. But you need to be able to explain and communicate it to sell that vision to somebody else. That way, you have people invest in what you're doing. Because you cannot achieve your purpose alone. Your purpose is not just for you alone. Remember when I wrote to NYSC that I was going to do that project, I had to communicate. I had to write a proposal. You don't wake up one morning and decide you want to do a project. I had to do what? I had to communicate that value. I had to communicate it to the NYSC, isn't it? So that is how it is with purpose. You just wake up one morning and say you're going to do this. No. Right? So once your purpose is clear, the next thing is learning to communicate it. So I had to learn, yes, I want to do this, but I had to learn to communicate to get the approval. And then from there to write my book, that's still communicating it. And even my stories I'm telling on social media, that's still communicating it. All the grant writing and opportunities I have been able to get while doing this, I'm still learning, I'm still practicing communicating my impact. Because you're not talking to people that are in your context. You're talking to people who are existing in different contexts and the parameters are not the same. Does that make sense? All right. So I want to give you a simple story framework. And let's say S, story. So if you have your pen and paper. Get your pen and paper. S, write down. S is what? Spell story. Story is STORY, right? Now, write down this. S start with your struggle or spark. What started your journey? Now we're now transitioning what from purpose to what? To impact. And I'm talking about what? Storytelling as a strategy that can help you communicate your story, in order for you to make sustainable global impact. So S, start with what? Your struggle or spark. What started your journey? I started this live by sharing my story of being sent to thank you so much, Nick. So I started this platform by sharing my story, right? How I started. You didn't form, in what you call it now. You existed in a context. So you have to start with what? Start with your story. Start with your struggle. What's the struggle? For me, it was that NYSC thing. Me, I didn't want to go to Bauchi for NYSC. Because if you were following the news then, you would see that Bauchi was in the news and it wasn't for something good. Excuse me. It wasn't for something good. It was for what? The killing of core members. The calling during the post-election violence. So why do you think that was a struggle for me? So start with your struggle. What is your own struggle? I'm not in your context. Well, I'm not in your own context. So what is your own struggle? It's only you who knows what your struggle is. So what? Start with your struggle or spark. What started your journey? It may not even be a struggle. Let's not be like I was talking about struggles of fire. It may not necessarily be a struggle, but it could be what? A spark. This sparked my interest. I saw a girl who needed help. I saw a boy child. These days I'm encouraging people to do project on the boy child because we are doing a whole lot of good things for the girl child. But we have to also carry the boy child along because the girl child will grow up to meet this boy child. So let me say the girl child. And you also have something great going up there for the boy child, right? What's the spark? Hey, thank you, Eunice, for joining. Please drop up your favorite emoji. I appreciate that, right? The boy child. What's your spark? Write it down. If you are joining me, one thing I want you to do is to do what? Go and get a pen, a piece of paper, and write down. Listen, this AI period, I'm still going to join me because I'm going to have series of live sessions where we'll talk about how to even use AI ethically. I'm not going to say run away from AI. You guys can say I'm even using AI pictures, right? Some of those pictures I'm posting, I didn't go and do any photo shoot. It's AI. So how do we use AI ethically as people, leaders who want to go global? Right? How do we use AI ethically? Because most of all the essays and everything that people are writing, they can be detected that it was written by AI. Because it can be detected. Even when I read something written by AI, you can use AI for Facebook posts, Instagram posts, but using AI to write your story, it's not going to have a soul. I'm telling you. It's not going to have a soul. Don't do that. Now, start with your struggle or your spark. That's the S. Now let's go to the next framework. Tell your transformation. I've just told you how I was crying to go to the north. I did not want to go there. I did not. No way. What am I going to go and do about you? I don't want to go there. That's not my plan. That's not my destiny. So, but I came back after the NYSC. I've done a whole lot of work for people. I came back with a different mindset about life. So, tell your transformation. The transformation to even you as a person, and then the outcome. In your transformation, what changed or what have you learned? What did you learn? If you notice in some of those essays, I learned the importance of investing in people. I learned this. If you see the Mandela Washington Fellowship essay, what did you learn from this? Because it's a personal reflection. One of the things that's why I said get a pen and paper to write. Because this AI whole thing is changing us towards to what? Can somebody use the word? Consumers. Everybody consume. But we have to move from consumer to producer. That's why I created this Purpose to Global Impact playbook. I don't know if I can access it here, but one of the things I did, and you can get a free version. If you comment Purpose on my Instagram, you should be able to get it. I'll try to see if I can. I'm using this phone for my Instagram. You have to, so you can get a free version where you type things and then you can, save it. Okay. Now, what's one of the things you have to do is what? Move. This is how it looks like. I will try to leave a copy of this in the chat. Do you see this? Let me also use the screen. I have two screens here. So this screen is my Instagram. This screen is my Instagram. This is my Facebook and YouTube. But let me start with my Instagram. This is it. Do you see? The book everything is clickable. Do you see? This is it. Purpose to Global Impact playbook. Right? Everything is clickable. Let's click on begin your journey for example. You see, it's giving you, I clicked on begin your journey. I don't know, Facebook, it's like it's too bright for the screen. Let me take it back a little bit. It's blank, right? Let me see, looks like it's blank. On Instagram, people can see it clear. You impute things and then you save. At the end of it, you save what you have done. So there's chapter one. Chapter one, discovering your purpose. It's not long chapters. Oh. Please, this is not a course, it's not a book, it's new. This has not been done before. So I encourage you to get a copy of this and do all this reflection. And when you finish all of that, you see save reflection. Save reflection. I don't know, Facebook, can you see this? Facebook, YouTube, can you see this? Is this so white for your screen? And then you come down, it gives you some things to, some boxes. It can just be a sentence and then you download your responses. Whatever you have written, you download it. You go to the next chapter. The next chapter, you may have to pay to access the entire playbook, but it's not a book. It's not a book, it's not a course. It's just a digital experience that is interactive, that gives you feedback. And here you have several opportunities. I curated something where you can get over 300 opportunities there. Let me see. Okay, but let's just continue. I'll come back to this. I started with S. Start with your struggle, and then we go to tell your transformation. And what's the next thing? Show the outcome, what you achieved, what you help other people achieve. Now, this is where the things I like to say, things like numbers comes into place. You can even pick one story, and this works both for businesses, it works for non-profits, it even works for research. Because what I'm saying, now let me know, I want to know people that are joining me. Are you a business person? Do you run a non-profit, or are you a researcher? Or you're an employee? Can you let me know what industry you work in? I want to see people that I'm talking to. Just comment that in the comment section. Let me know, what industry are you operating in? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you working in a non-profit? Are you a non-profit founder? Are you an employee, or are you what's the other one? Yeah, just let me know. A researcher, an academic. Let me know. Just put that in the comment section, just so I know the people. So yeah, I wanted to come back to this playbook. So you see, I've unlocked it because I have access already. So you go to resources. You see, I have this. This is new. This is Global Opportunities Directory. Over 300 plus verified opportunities. And the way I did it is such a way that you can just type in the category where you are looking at and do what, and you can save it. You can also download the full opportunity directory that I did. You can download it here, curated by, you can download the full. This has over 300 internships, summer school, different opportunities, fellowships, grant, postdoc, grant for business, basically accelerator programs. They are free to apply. Nobody's going to ask you to pay a dime. You have all of that here. You can download the ones that you told yourself you want to apply. I also have a tracker. Like I said, this thing is new. You haven't seen this elsewhere. Look at the tracker. The tracker, you can use this, and what opportunities you want to apply for in 2025, you put them here. And then at the end of it, you can download it. Your goals, you put them. It's just, I hope I'm not obstructing you. It's completely new. So you can get that. And at the end of this, there's also a certificate for those who successfully finished it. So this is something I encourage you to get. But let's go back to the story framework, okay? S, we said start with your struggle or your spark. T, tell your transformation. O, show the outcome. Show the outcome. That's why I talk about the people who enjoy good staff. Talk about the staff. If you're a non-profit, talk about the people who benefited from what you're doing. If you're a business, talk about the staff. Indirect staff. It might be just one person that you're employed, but that person has, other people who are dependent on them. And look at the bigger ecosystem. What are you helping to preserve? Even if you don't even have some, what are you helping to preserve? So I'm sure if you go and think, if you go through my prompt, right, in my Global Opportunities Playbook, I don't know if I can share my screen. I can actually share my screen from I can't share my screen here on, but I can share it on Facebook. So let me see. Yeah, so this is a brand new. Hi Casey, thank you for joining. It's new. It's something that you've never seen. Let me see if I can share that Purpose to Global Impact playbook. Okay. It looks like I'm sharing it on Instagram, on Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you can see this, let me know. So I'm sharing this. This is how it looks like. Let's say you come home, begin your journey. You start with the first page. This is the first chapter. You click on it, and then you put impute all this. Impute, and then you save it. So it's just a beautiful thing. It's something that has not been done before. I'm sharing the screen. I'm looking at my other phone to be sure. Let me know if you can see what I'm just sharing. Let me know. Okay, yeah. So you go to the next chapter. Down here, you have resources, but you have to unlock it to be able to view this. This is amazing. This is super, super, super duper amazing. This, if you haven't seen something like this before. Okay, let me stop sharing and go back to the content. Yeah, I hope I'm not still sharing. All right, so let's continue. Yeah, so let me know if you saw that playbook. You can see it's great. Yeah, it's just amazing. Let me see if I can unlock it behind, and so that I can show you more stuff that the playbook can do. I encourage you to get that playbook. It's new, right? You know, as a teacher myself, I know that people have moved a lot from just courses and getting information and all that. People are, there's so much information out there, people are tired. So you want to get them to move from consumer to producer. And that's what I had in mind before creating it. See, I'm trying to unlock one of the playbook in my laptop to show you because it looks like showing with the phone. But if you have any questions so far with what I've said while I'm doing that, please comment that in the chat box, and I'm happy to catch you. So yes, great. Let me share that. This is new. I'm sure you have never seen something like this before. Yeah. So I've just unlocked the full playbook. Let's go to home. You see these buttons down here? Yeah, this is it. I encourage you to watch this journey, watch this video first before you get started. Yeah, and then you see start chapter 1. You see what it get. This is chapter 1, for example. Start the chapter. It's just straightforward. It tells my story and come down here, key takeaways, some things you should start thinking about. You put that, you save your reflection, act. You also have things you need to do, reflect, act. This is a brand, this is something that is new. You haven't seen something like this before. And then you download your responses, you download it. Now, because you know what, these responses you're downloading, you can use them to build your essays. You're applying for grants, opportunities, fellowships. Even if it's a research grant, there's a part where they want to see those your personal, you from your personal standpoint of view, which I've gotten several research grants, so I'm speaking from experience. You do that. I've gotten grants for entrepreneurship. I'm talking from experience. I've gotten grants for my non-profit work. So I'm not just telling you what I don't know. I'm telling you what I know. This is brand new. I'm sure you're like, wow. Now, this is my favorite part of this, the resources. Do you see all of this? I curated over 300 plus verified. And it's not just sending it to you so that you don't get bored. You can download the full directory if you want, but I'm sure you don't want to do that. Just come down here, come to category, filter down what you want. Let's say it's fellowship you're interested in, and then Africa, right? That's it. Now it has filtered it down to a few fellowships that you can apply for now. Do you see? If you come down again, you filter it down, compress support, it shows you compress support. Do you see? If you make it region global, it takes you to more opportunities. This is not something you want to sleep on. I curated this, by myself. And then I also have databases that you can visit, right? And then look at this tracker. I have this tracker where all you can do is track your applications. It's 2025. Application name. What application do you want to do? You save that. You come down here. When you all these things, you can do what? You can download them. And at the end, yeah, you download the plan. And at the end, you have a certificate. This is new. So jump on this now. Let me see if I can. I don't know, Casey, if you are here, if you're there, you can. This is new. This is certificate of completion. We are done. Let me stop sharing. So it's just amazing. Yeah. So Casey, if you're there, can you type the link so I can just highlight and show it on my what you call it so that people can see it. It's Purpose to Global Impact. If you're on Instagram, just go to any of my posts and type Purpose. You automatically get a copy of it. So Casey, are you there? If you're there, just type. I shared it to you on WhatsApp. Let me see. I am not able to access so that I can go. I think I can do it myself from here. Let me do it from with my other phone. Okay, so let me show. Yeah, that is it. Just click Purpose to Global Impact. Do that. Let me pin. I'm trying to see if I can pin, but if you look at it, it's there. It's on the site. If you just click that, it will take you to it. Okay. Purpose to Global Impact. That's it. That's the link. And then if you click that, I think it's clickable. Facebook, Instagram, just do that and it takes you there. All right, let's continue. Reveal the relevance. Why it matters. What's the relevance? What's the relevance? What's the significance of the project you have done? This is where you now bring in things like the SDGs, right? You want to talk about the SDGs. The SDGs are important for this reason, right? That's where you also want to now talk about the SDGs. So it's just amazing. There's several things that you can do if you just think about it. Then share. Why is what? Share your turn movement. Invite them to reflect and take action. So here I want you to think about next steps. What's the next steps? Now you've done this great work. It's making impact. You've done amazing. I'm proud of you. Next steps. Okay. There are three things I also want to teach. I call it the 3 C's. Right? I call it the 3 C's. So these are 3 steps to turn your purpose to global impact. I've talked about story. I've shared the framework for story. So I'll just talk about the 3 C's and then we call it a day. Okay. Now, what are the 3 C's? The 3 C's are what? Clarity. Know who you are and why you exist. You can't go global if you are not first grounded. Who are you? The first time I started by asking you, what space are you operating in? So I can know how to channel. So what space are you operating in? Who are you? What do you stand for? The problem you are called to solve. Remember I said it's a calling. It's not something that you decide. It chooses you. Your vocation chooses you. And sometimes it chooses you when you don't even expect. One thing I want to ask you is talk to 5 of your friends, people who are closest to you, family, friends. Just call 5 people and ask them, what do you think I do so well at? Sometimes some of us are in our waiting period. Look, there's nothing you are doing that is a waste. There's nothing you are doing that is a waste. Yes, nothing you are doing is a waste. You just have not realized it yet. Nothing you are doing is a waste. Okay? Now, clarity is not about having all the answers. It's about knowing which questions matters the most to your purpose at that time. You don't have to have it all sorted out. Yes? Yeah, exactly. It's your calling. So this is exactly why I wrote the Purpose to Global Impact, to help you find clarity. So I told you one exercise I want to give you is talk to 5 people and ask them, what are those things you think that I do so well? And you'll be shocked what they will say to you, okay? If you're on Instagram, just go to any of my posts now and type purpose, and automatically you get a copy of the Purpose to Global Impact. So we've talked about clarity. So clarity is not about having all the answers, it's about knowing what questions matters most to your purpose. Now, the next C is what? Communication. People don't follow what they don't understand. People do not follow what they don't understand. So what you're saying has to be relatable. People have to be able to understand. They don't have to have the full context. You should have an idea. Remember, if you joined me earlier when we talked about communication, how it's very key, to communicating your impact and to going global. That's why I'm still repeating it again and saying what communication is how you translate your purpose into a language that others can see, can feel, can support. It's not about speaking, it's about connecting through your story. So strong communication rather mean speaking with authenticity. You see me, I've been in the US, I've been here for a while, but I'm still speaking my Nigerian English. I try. If you Because I teach American students, right? Um, one of the things I've learned is not to speak too fast because I have an accent. Everybody has an accent. I have a Nigerian accent. Americans have American accent. So because I have an accent, I have to speak not slowly, but just enough that people can catch me. In case they miss a word while I was talking, they can still catch that because they were what? They were following me. So that's one thing I encourage you, speaking with authenticity. That's one of the feedback I have gotten so far from teaching. So please, as you join like this live, drop a comment so that I'm sure that I'm not talking to myself alone, please. I don't like talking to myself alone. Okay. Yeah, say something in the comment, drop an emoji. Sharing your why in a relatable listen. Why do I do what I do with the Clean Water Project? Because water is a basic human right, and many people do not have access to potable water. It's a basic human right. Water is the key to everything. So stating your why in a relatable way, knowing how to listen. When I finished my NYSC, it felt like my life paused because she will get a job, she'll get the this, she'll get the this, she'll get. Oh, I did not get all of those things at that time, but the reward came later. And that's one thing with you when you've done your own. It's like when you finish cooking. When you're cooking, are you going to be the cook, the fire, and the food yourself? No. You've put the right ingredients in the food. Your own is to allow the fire to do its work. In this moment that we are, people are so much into they want to do fast, they want to see results immediately. But that's not how it is, my darlings. Life is what you do your own part. So in doing this work, I thought to chip that in because some of us you just do 1 year, 2 years, you're frustrated. Thank God you have gone through. I saw how my post did well on Instagram and some other pages. I showed you 15 years of what I've been doing for the past 15 years. That's not beans, baby girls, baby boys, people. That's work. That's traction. It's a lot. So you just have to be what? Be patient. Just keep learning. Like one of the things you can do is attending sessions like this where you keep learning how to build capacity. And everything will just take shape in time. Time makes a difference. So I've been here for a long time. Like when I tell you, hold on, you're doing the right thing, but just that you're attending this session alone, you're doing the right thing. But what do you just need to do? You just need to be what? Patient. So sharing your why, knowing how to position your story to attract global opportunities. And the thing about global opportunities is, for example, there's an opportunity in health. Because I'm doing water, I don't have to wait for water to apply. Water can apply to it. Menstrual hygiene can apply to it. There's an opportunity in sanitation and hygiene. Water can fix. So there are big things there, but there are sub things. If you don't know how to communicate, you will not be able to tie what you're doing to the sub thing. For example, there can be something on recycling. And you don't know that you are doing fashion, you are sewing, it's recycling. Yeah, there's an opportunity for recycling, and you just see recycling is one big thing like that. It's just communicate how you are using scraps. You are using clothes that people have sewn and threw away. You are using that to sew brand new clothes. That is how you communicate your impact, right? So as I said, it's something you do with tact, right? So knowing how to position that story will help you to win global opportunities. A lady doing that, she's actually grabbing a lot of global opportunities because she knows how to communicate that recycling. But what is she doing? She's sewing, she's doing a lot of things, but she's doing it in a way that she's attractive. She's able to communicate that well. All right. So yeah, please go and get this purpose to global impact, and I'm sure you would be amazed at the quality of work. I'm launching a coaching program, Lead, Launch, and Leverage. This is something that God has put in my mind to do. I love God a lot because everything that God has done, He has taken me to steps. So I'm launching that coaching program. Maybe people have asked, "Oh, can you mentor me?" Well, now I have the skill, I have the capacity. I have a PhD in leadership communication, so I am well positioned to do that. It's going to run for 6 weeks, starting in November. So just if you click this purpose to global impact in the last page, you see some of the things that resources you can get from the work I do. All right. So in leadership communication, how you frame your story determines how people receive your value. Now we've talked about clarity, communication. The next thing is what? Guess what? The next C, connection. Connect. Hey, you know that song? Hey, connect. Is it Fino that sang that one? But that's the next one, connection. So impact happens through relationships, my darlings. You cannot do everything on your own. You need people. You need people. You can't do without people, yo. You need people. You need people, right? Now, the other thing is what? Global opportunities don't just fall from the sky, they flow through people. Connection is what turns your purpose and communication into tangible impact. And let me tell you something. I applied for an opportunity sometime and I traveled to Mozambique and I got there. And then I saw another opportunity, I applied, but I had a mentor from the previous opportunity. And I just reached out to say, hey, I applied for this opportunity, and she was like, oh, really? That's great. She was actually on the review committee. See, it's a small world. She was on the review committee and she knew I was selected for that program. I was actually with a friend of mine and it was a fellowship, a research fellowship that we traveled to. I think it was Ghana, I don't know. But while we were there, one of the organizers, she was just excited and she was like, oh, she applied for this. And she got this news that, hey, you've been selected for this grant. It was huge. And she was excited. And she shared it with one of our organizers, the mentors. And they were like, yeah, we know. We recommended you. What am I saying is, when you get one of global opportunities, it just opens a string of several. That's one. And number two, it's a small world. Founders, they know each other. They know each other. And that's why it's important that you build relationship. I'm not saying you should be licking people's asses, right? I'm just saying that you should be what? Relationship driven as opposed to being what you call it now. Self driven. Be relationship driven. When you see people, build genuine relationships with them. Follow up. When people say don't send happy new month, don't mind them. I'm not saying you should do a happy new month message or happy Sunday, but even if it is a message you send to someone quarterly to check in with them and to stay connected, it's not a bad idea. Does that make sense? And that's how you call you. If you meet someone immediately, you reach out to them immediately. It was nice meeting you. I hope to stay connected to what you're doing. Let's say you jump on something that they did, you reach out to them, you congratulate them. But what you are doing is that you're these days that we have short attention span, you're putting yourself in their mind. And by putting yourself in their mind, they will think about you when opportunity beckons. And you never can tell tomorrow. Listen, we are all human beings and we are all subjective. We can all be subjective. Tomorrow, when you apply for an opportunity, you don't know if they're sometimes when you get rejection, it's not because you did not write well. When you get rejection from opportunities, I need you to understand that it's not always because you didn't write well. Sometimes it's because what? People that applied were so gifted and they have to choose one or two people to call it a day. Does that make sense? They have to just give one or two people to end it. So it's not because and sometimes they will ask this person's name. They will remember your name. I'm telling you, at that level, merit has taken you to the finalist. But they're now looking for other parameters to streamline to the next 10. Does that make sense? So build relationships with people, right? It's about building authentic relationships, collaborating across cultures and courses, serving before selling. Showing up where your purpose is not is needed the most. Your purpose will take you far, but your connections will take you global. So now you're now moving from strategy to you're moving from passion to strategy. Passion to strategy. Passion to strategy. Does that make sense? Now, global leaders are bridge builders. They don't chase platforms, they create partnerships. So think about it in that way. I want to stop here because it looks like this is so academic. I've been teaching. This is what these Thursdays are like. This is what today is all about. Sharing about my journey, talking about purpose to global impact, sharing the framework for story, sharing the three C's, and what else again did we talk about? Yeah, so let me know. Do you have any question? I'm going to take questions in the next few minutes and we'll call it a day. I'll try to do this every Thursday at this time. I'll try to I'm not sure I can do twice a week, but let's see if I can do every Thursday. Yeah, I know I can do every Thursday from. Is this a good time? Let me know. Is this a good time? I think it's a good time for me in the US because I started by 3. Yeah, so for me it's a good time. But let me know if it's a good time for you to join live. And if you have any question, put it in the chat. Anything I have said that is not very clear to you, I'm happy to take your questions. I had a great time today teaching. So don't forget to get a free version of the Purpose to Global Impact Playbook. Yeah. Any question? In absence of any question, I'm going to call it a day. I had a good time today. I had a good time today. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Good night from here. Bye.